So this spring I planted a whole bunch of sunflowers and they all got dug up, but this one made it. And so I wonder if now these seeds are falling out though. Does that mean I gotta harvest them? Anyway, this thing is the only one that made it, and it's got to be like 8 or 10 feet tall. But other than the sunflowers and the sunshine, we're brewing. So I got that washed yeast that you might have seen in the previous video about the potter's beer, and I took the slurry and then I washed it, and then I made a starter out of that stuff, and that is going right now, and it's foamy, so that looks good. But we're bringing this to a boil. It's heating up, and this is what we have for the grain. 13 pounds raw pale, half pound carapils, and 1/4 pound of medium crystal. Oh, that's right, I was gonna do like 2 cups of sugar. And then I have all of these: Columbus, Simcoe, Centennial. So what I did is I wanted to make some kind of IPA, but I just didn't really know exactly what. So I looked at this Pliny the Elder clone I did like 12, 11 years ago, and it called for basically this type of grain bill. I don't remember how much grain, but it had a little bit of medium crystal and a little bit of carapils, and then those were the 3 types of hops. Now, what I'm not gonna do is dose it in the same way. I think there were 9 ounces of hops in that 5-gallon batch or something, and a lot of dry hopping. Not gonna do any dry hopping. I'm not gonna do 2 or 3 ounces of Columbus at high alpha acid for 90-minute boil. I mean, that thing was really just a hop monster. So it's just gonna be basically just use this Trappist high gravity yeast and an IPA type beer, see how it comes out. And yeah, then pretty soon, I mean, it's middle of September, pretty soon we're getting into the colder times, people. The cold's coming, and then we'll get the lagers going. I think what I'm going to do is 1 ounce of Columbus at 60, 1 ounce Simcoe 30, and then at the end, those 3, and we'll just call it good. So, let me get this open. Columbus. It was boiling, and I turned it down. Now I might have to bring it back up to a boil, but we always hope for no boil overs, but I have it pretty mellow right now, so that should be okay. Ooh, this one's kind of dusty. Don't matter. Alright, so begins the hop dosing. So it has been an hour. I just turned off the boil. Now, I think this Pliny recipe, as I was looking at my notes, I think it had 3 ounces of Columbus at bittering, and then it was a 90-minute boil, so that is a lot of hops, and I think that beer was like 1080 or maybe a little more. But this beer is probably going to be, oh, you know what? I just realized, I knew I would do this. I forgot the sugar. So, that's fine. It would just, I mean, I guess I could still even boil it up. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll boil it up in like a pint or so and dump it in. That should be sufficient. Anyway, if I do that, I'll have to let you know. But my point is, I was not going to overly bitter this one with the bittering hops. Not anywhere near that Pliny clone. So now I just put in 3 ounces right after boil, and if I let them sit in there for a while, they will impart some bitterness. So I think I will give them at least a good 15 minutes is normally what I would do, but I think I will also go and get 2 cups, which is about a pound of sugar, boil it up in as little of water as I need to get it to dissolve. Maybe a pint, maybe 2 pints, which would be a quart, and then add it in. So we'll add a little bit of volume to what I have, but it'll also be boosting the gravity slightly. Alright, here is the sea starter I talked about. It had more foam and krausen earlier, but it's kind of settled down. But Lots of good yeast. So let's turn this off. I got all the wort in the fermenter. I'll have to get a better look at the gravity reading and report back in the final, you know, tasting type scenario. But hopefully it'll be. Hold on, we gotta turn this down. Yeah, da 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 da. Hopefully it'll be in the 1070 range. This beer was really foamy. Pouring it in, there's lots of foam, and so it's, you know, kind of backing out of the fermenter. So hopefully this yeast business will get up on in there, and then I am gonna aerate it. A lot of times recently for my 1050 type beers, I've been experimenting with not doing pure oxygen aeration, and it's been going fine. But if this is going to be 1070 or so, I think it would, even with this nice starter, I think it would be a good idea. So I'm going to aerate it, get it all cleaned up, buttoned up, and set aside. My basement is about 68 or so right now, so hopefully with some ice jugs I'll be able to keep it around that temp. Alright, so it's Tuesday morning. I made this beer Saturday morning. It's been fermenting since Saturday evening. It did get up through the blow-off tube, and it has been... Well, see, now it's crept up to 70 according to that thing. Let me do my temperature gun here. That says 68. So, but for most of the time, it's been in the mid-60s. So here's one ice jug. Here's another one here. And what I was doing is I just have the two, and actually I kind of purposefully let it rise up to 68 since it's getting to the end of fermentation. But then previously what I was doing, and I just show this just in case, we always say ice jugs, but in case you just haven't done it yourself. So here's another big whiskey bottle that, you know, is frozen. And then I've got the peanut jar and like a Gatorade thing. And then I have these ice pouches. And so you can use like one of those, a couple of those, and that thing. And so if you have 4 going at once, you can really keep it down, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees from what it would be if you had nothing like that. So the fact that this is 68 right now at the end of fermentation is fine. I might actually take these 2 melted ones and put a couple of fresh ones in there just to kind of keep it there, because right now this basement is 70. So if I had nothing, no ice jugs, and the beer was actively fermenting, it would be 75 or so, and I had it more like 65, 66. So just a quick visual on that in case nobody's heard of that or actually tried it. Alright, this is going to be woodpile cam. So in honor of canoe cam, which we don't have because we don't have a canoe, but we have a woodpile. So welcome to the garage, Michael Dawson. Cheers.
Cheers. It's honored to be asked.
To the honored? I'm the one who's honored. Let's be real.
I'm more honored than you are, dude.
I'm more honored.
This is going to go on for a while. Should we talk about
see what we did? So this beer is actually, I looked it up. I think it was it's 3 weeks from brew day. So,
this is 3 weeks.
Yeah, from brew day.
You're full of surprises tonight, Don.
Well, I don't got a lot of time to. Is it raining? It's raining. That's even extra good that we're in by the woodpile cam. I don't got a lot of time to be waiting for beers to sit around. Like ferment them out, put them on tap.
Busy man.
1070 to 1.008, fermented 65, 67, 68. I think I got some of that on camera with the ice jugs right under the shirt. You know, don't try that at home.
You're talking about the carboy, right?
I am.
Okay.
See, because chilly. Although on a hot summer day, Anyway, I'm happy with this beer. Now, I purposefully was not going for a lot of the Belgian character. So part of the point of this video is, if you've never even heard of using a Belgian yeast to make an IPA, well, now you have. Now you could, as you were saying, what would you think of if you would hear Belgian IPA?
So, like I said, just off camera, I was concerned when you told me we were tasting a Belgian IPA because I expected something that I personally don't like, which is like super high esters, maybe some fusel alcohols from a warm fermented Belgian yeast combined with a whole lot of hop bitterness. It's not my bag. But the fact that you fermented it cool with that yeast strain, this malt bill, the hops, like, I really dig it.
Yeah.
You were saying that in terms of like the grist and the hop load, this is a lot like your IPL.
It really is. I mean, and that varies. The hops vary, but the overall effect is often very similar to this. Not cloying,
no,
but not overly dry. Some malt, but pretty good, firm hop bitterness. You know, some of those I use a hop shot, but you can get the bitterness from hops as well. Sometimes I don't use a hop shot.
Yeah. Columbus Centennial Simcoe.
Yeah, so I get, I don't know if I am right now, but in my notes I was getting like some like orangey, nectarine, tangerine from this. Also, probably the Simcoe, you'll get some kind of piney, woody notes. Centennial is supposed to be like orangey, right? Oranges-ish?
Yeah.
No?
Not, I don't, I
Okay.
think it's maybe less grapefruity than Cascade, CTZ, Simcoe sometimes can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty bitter, but also it has a taste of hop flavors.
Yeah. And the yeast is kind of subtle, right? But it's not, like, you can't mistake it for a lager yeast or USO5 or something like that, right? Like the Chico. It's got some phenols in there, right? Like a little spicy note.
Oh, I lost my motion thing. I'm gonna walk around. Hey, how about that?
You're welcome.
We just needed to dance around. That's a good question. What do I get from the Belgian yeast? I just fall back on, it's a little Belgian-y. I mean, we all have had some Belgian beers. We know what that is, but I don't know how to describe it. I think Chip was saying that he agreed that this beer would be different if it was just an ale yeast. It would be just a little bit different, or a lager yeast. The Double Trouble, I think, which is the Trappist High Gravity from Imperial, gives it a little je ne sais quoi. But what that quoi is, je ne sais. I don't know.
I don't know how to say phenols in French,
Comment
but
tu dis phenol en français? Phenol.
phenol.
So
Yeah.
yes,
There's a little
a
peppery
little something.
spiciness.
I think that's kind of what I would often fall back on saying too, like spiciness, pepperiness. This isn't a big experiment, but this kind of malt bill and this kind of hop thing, unless it gets brewed badly, it's going to give me something like this, because I've done this many times. And I did, I don't know if I mentioned on camera again, but I did, I think I forgot to put the sugar in. And then after the boil was done, I went and did a pint of water and the 2 cups of sugar and just boiled it up and then just dumped it in. So
Problem
the
solved.
sugar got in there. It got in there. I just forgot to do it during the boil.
Good thing you remembered.
Well, there you have it. Raging Bitch is, I was going to make a joke about her ex-wife, but I won't. But it's not just a beer by Flying Dog, but I think it's a Belgian IPA. I don't know if there's a lot of other ones that are around. I don't even know if that one's around anymore. When I first had that beer, I really liked it, like 10 plus years ago. And then somewhere down the line, I had it again, and maybe it wasn't as fresh, or maybe I had changed palate shift. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's not an unheard of thing.
No, but I often don't seek them out
Sure.
Local folks who've been drinking craft beer for a while might remember Harriet Brewing. They had a Belgian IPA as their flagship.
Yes. Was it considered a Belgian IPA or just kind of like a Belgian pale or some kind of hoppy?
It was a Belgian IPA.
Yeah,
It was like
I remember.
7%.
Remember
60-ish IBUs.
from memory that had more Belgian character.
It had a lot more of the fruity expression.
Yeah. Well, anyway, make your own. Try this at home. But watch out for the ice jugs under the shirt. Whew. Winter is coming, as they say. Alright, well, we're going to get to the Potter's beer, and we're going to get off camera. And we're just going to sit down and relax. How about them apples?
I like apples.
Alright.
Cheers.
Catch you later.